Hi. Hi, I'm Cindy Kaplan with Houston Jewish Funerals. I'm an Executive Planning Associate. What is that? I am a pre-need advisor. I've made some notes because there's so much information that I want to share with you today on this brief Zoom. Okay, so what is a pre-need advisor? What is pre-need? Well, I'm going to give you some information and we'll continue with more information on future Zooms. But before I start, I have a question that I want to ask you. What does desert and death have in common? Here's some of the answers that I've gotten. They both start with the letter D. They both come at the end. And we can't go through life without discussing either one of them. I thought all those were pretty good answers. So what is my job? My job is to make sure that every family is prepared and informed for what will be one of the most difficult days in their lives. I take my job and that responsibility very seriously. I like to call these the W's of pre-need planning. What is it? Why do I need it? When do I need to get it? And where do I get it? What is it? It's making your funeral decisions for yourself. Why? So your spouse, your partner, your children, or your friends do not have to do it when you pass away with a funeral director. I don't know if you realize that there are about 75, 100 questions that have to be answered when someone passes away. When do you have to do this? When do I have to purchase this? Well, unfortunately, we never know where, when, or how we're going to die. But there's one thing that we are all guaranteed of, and that is that we are all going to die. Where do I get pre-need planning information? Well, you get it from me. And we will sit down in a very relaxed environment, like I am speaking to you from now, either at your home, at your office, over coffee, at my office, where we can have a very personal conversation about your wants and your needs for when you pass away. You know, in our Jewish community, there are a lot of great choices. All of the synagogue cemeteries have chapels now, and you can choose if you want to use a chapel, outside chapel, you want to have your service there and then go to graveside, if you want to just have a graveside, if you want to go back into your synagogue. So there are all kinds of different decisions that you can make, what you want for yourself, and that's just not even skimming the surface. Here's some just fun facts that maybe people don't even realize. Did you know that nationwide funerals annually increase 2 to 4%? So when you pre-need plan your funeral, it locks in today's cost for forever. So besides taking the emotional toll away from your family and friends, financially, it locks in today's price when you pass away 10, 20, 30 years from now. Houston Jewish Funeral is Jewish owned and operated here locally in Houston. We know all of our Jewish customs and burial traditions. All of our caskets are kosher. We coordinate everything. You live in Houston and you request to be buried in Israel, in New York. We handle everything for you. You know, one of the great things that we provide when you and I meet is we talk about I give you a personal wishes organizer. This is a great tool. I like to think of it as a workbook. In it, there's some questions that you can answer that helps in our conversation about, do you want to go into your synagogue? Do you want to go outside just for graveside? Talks about kind of casket. It talks about, do you want pallbearers? There's an opportunity for you to make notes about your childhood, your teenage years, your college years experience, what clubs you were in. There's some place for some financial information. This is for you to keep with your valuable papers for your family to have as reference. Also, there's some information that we can go over if you are a veteran. And thank you very much for serving our country. But this is some information that is very important. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation given to our veterans. So this is a great tool as well. I don't know if you are aware, if you are traveling and there is a death, how and how much does it take to get your body back for burial in Houston? Well, we have away from home assurance, and we can take care of that for a wonderfully minimal cost, $449. If you are more than 75 miles away from home, can get your body back for burial in Houston. And this company takes care of all the logistics. It is not medical insurance. It is not travel insurance. It is for when a person dies 75 miles away from home. You can request me to give you some information. This is just some basic facts about why pre-need planning is very important. So I just barely skimmed the surface, but what I do want you to remember is how important it is to take this emotional toll away from your family, from your spouse, your partner, your friends, and your children. My husband passed away 17 years ago. I knew nothing about the concept of pre-need planning. He was sick for all of our marriage. We had plenty of opportunity to have this conversation. When he was on hospice, Houston Jewish Funeral came up to the hospital. They opened the book and it was like a menu. I was yes, yes, no, no, thank you. And I can tell you personally how difficult it is to plan and mourn. Don't put yourself and your family in that situation. So please remember all the information that I've given you today. My name is Cindy Kaplan. This was just the very beginning of some of these Zooms that I hope to do for you in the future. You can reach me at 713-588-5358. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.